The purple light coming from the old barn was strange. Amelia Frost stood on her porch, coffee mug in hand, staring at the odd glow. It was just after 10 at night, and she had been about to go to bed when she noticed it. Maybe it was just bad wiring? The barn was over 80 years old after all. Amelia put her mug down and grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen drawer. The cold night air bit at her skin as she walked across the yard toward the barn. Crickets chirped around her, and somewhere in the distance an owl hooted. Everything else was quiet on her small farm, 20 miles from the nearest town. The purple light flickered from beneath the barn door. Amelia's heart beat faster. Something wasn't right. She had lived alone on this farm for 3 years since her grandmother died, and nothing like this had ever happened before. She reached for the handle of the barn door, took a deep breath, and pulled it open. What she saw made her drop her flashlight. Inside the barn was what looked like a small spacecraft, about the size of her pickup truck. It was sleek and silver with strange markings etched into its surface. Purple light pulsed from several cracks in its hull. But that wasn't the most shocking thing. Beside the craft stood a woman. At least she looked somewhat like a woman. Her skin was a deep purple color that seemed to glow from within. Her eyes were large and had 3 irises each that expanded when she saw Amelia. She wore something like armor that shifted colors as she moved. The being was hurt. A liquid that looked like blue blood ran from a cut on her arm. Amelia and the alien stared at each other for what felt like forever. Then the alien spoke. Her mouth moved, but the words that entered Amelia's mind didn't match the movement of her lips. "Please," the voice said in Amelia's head. "They cannot find me here." Amelia opened her mouth, then closed it. She was talking to an alien. An actual alien from space. Who are you?" Amelia finally managed to say. The alien took a step forward, then winced in pain. "I am Liridian, 3rd Princess of the Astral Sovereignty. I have escaped an arranged marriage that would doom my people to servitude. My ship was damaged during pursuit." In the distance, Amelia heard the sound of helicopter blades cutting through the night air. The alien, Liridian, heard it too. Her strange eyes widened. "The humans in your military have detected my landing. If they find me, I will be captured and studied. The Vrexian hunters will not be far behind. They will destroy your world just to reclaim me." Amelia didn't understand half of what Liridian said, but she understood fear when she saw it. This being was terrified and hurt. "Can you move your ship?" Amelia asked, looking at the damaged craft. Liridian shook her head. "The power core is damaged. It will take time to repair." The sound of helicopters grew louder. Amelia made a quick decision. "Come with me to the house. We can hide your ship under the hay." Together they covered the spacecraft with old hay bales and tarps. By the time they finished, the helicopter sounds were directly overhead. Bright searchlights swept across the farm fields. Amelia led Liridian to the farmhouse through the back door. Once inside, the alien princess seemed to relax slightly but remained alert. "Thank you for your help," Liridian said. "Few species would aid an unknown visitor." "I'm not sure all humans would," Amelia admitted, getting her first aid kit from the bathroom. "But you're hurt and you need help. That's enough for me." As she cleaned the blue blood from Liridian's arm, the alien studied her closely. "Your world is considered primitive by galactic standards," Liridian said. "Yet you show kindness when many advanced species would not. This is unexpected." Amelia applied a bandage to the wound, unsure if human medical supplies would even work on alien physiology. "So why are you running from an arranged marriage? And who's chasing you?" Liridian's expression darkened. "My father, the High Sovereign, arranged my marriage to the son of the Vrexian Dominion's emperor. The Vrexians are conquerors who have destroyed dozens of worlds. This marriage would give them control over our technology and military." She touched a crystal pendant around her neck. "My royal blood carries genetic markers that can activate ancient weapons. That is my true value to them." The helicopter circled closer to the farm. Bright lights swept across the windows. Amelia quickly pulled the curtains shut. "We need to turn off all the lights," she whispered. "They're looking for something unusual." They sat in darkness as vehicles pulled up outside. Amelia peeked through the curtains to see black SUVs and men in dark uniforms spreading out across her property. "Government agents," she whispered to Liridian. "Probably looking for your ship." A loud knock came at the door. Amelia gestured for Liridian to hide in the pantry, then went to answer it. A woman in a black suit stood on the porch. "Agent Kimberly Walsh, Department of Defense," she said, showing a badge. We've detected an unusual energy signature in this area. Have you noticed anything strange tonight, ma'am? Amelia shook her head, trying to look confused. No, nothing. Just a quiet night. What kind of energy signature? Classified information, Walsh said, studying Amelia's face. Mind if we look around? Do you have a warrant? Amelia asked, heart pounding. Walsh frowned. We can get one if necessary. This is a matter of national security. Then please come back with a warrant, Amelia said firmly. It's late and I have to be up early for farm work. Agent Walsh didn't look happy, but she handed Amelia a card. Call this number if you notice anything unusual. We'll be watching this area. After the agents left, Amelia slumped against the door in relief. Lyridian emerged from hiding. They will return, the alien princess said, and they are not the worst threat. If the Vrexian hunters locate me, they will not ask for permission to search. That night, Amelia made a bed for Lyridian in the spare room. As she was about to leave, the alien princess spoke again. Why are you helping me? You risk much by sheltering me. Amelia thought about it. I guess because it's the right thing to do. And because I've always believed we weren't alone in the universe. Now I know for sure. Later, lying in her own bed, Amelia stared at the ceiling. That morning, she had been a simple farmer with a quiet life. Now she was hiding an alien princess from both the government and space hunters. Life would never be the same again. 3 weeks passed since Amelia found Lyridian in her barn. Life had changed in ways she never imagined. The alien princess stayed hidden in the farmhouse while Amelia went about her normal routines, trying not to draw attention. Each night they would sneak out to the barn to work on repairing Lyridian's ship. The technology was far beyond anything Amelia had ever seen. Lyridian tried to explain how the engines worked, but most of it went over Amelia's head. Your world has not yet discovered quantum folding, Lyridian said one night as they worked. It allows ships to bend space rather than travel through it. Amelia handed her a tool that looked like a glowing wrench. So you don't actually fly through space? Not as you understand it, Lyridian replied. We create a pocket where distances are compressed. A journey of 1,000 light years can be completed in days. It was hard for Amelia to believe she was having this conversation with an alien in her barn. Yet here they were. The government agents still patrolled the area, though less often now. Agent Walsh had returned twice with questions, but never with a warrant. Amelia could tell the woman was suspicious. We know something landed here, Walsh had said during her last visit. Satellites don't lie, Miss Frost. Amelia had stuck to her story. I haven't seen anything unusual. Maybe your satellites made a mistake. Now, on a quiet Sunday afternoon, Amelia was teaching Lyridian how to bake cookies. The alien princess was fascinated by human food and customs. Your species puts much importance on shared meals, Lyridian observed, carefully measuring flour. Food brings people together, Amelia said. It's been that way since the beginning of human history. Lyridian looked thoughtful. We have similar traditions. Royal meals last for days and involve complex rituals. The sound of a car coming up the driveway interrupted them. Amelia looked out the window and felt her stomach drop. It was her friend Olivia's car. Quick, hide upstairs, Amelia told Lyridian. It's my friend Olivia. She doesn't know about you. Lyridian hurried upstairs while Amelia wiped flour from her hands and went to open the door. Olivia Daniels had been Amelia's friend since high school. She now worked as an engineer in the nearby city and visited whenever she could. Hey, stranger, Olivia said, giving Amelia a hug. I've been trying to call you for 2 weeks. Where have you been? Sorry, I've been busy with the farm, Amelia lied, letting her friend in. Olivia sniffed the air. Are you baking? That's not like you. Just trying something new, Amelia said nervously. They sat in the living room, and Amelia tried to act normal as Olivia talked about her job and recent dates. All the while, Amelia worried about Lyridian making a noise upstairs. Then it happened. A loud thump came from above them like something heavy had fallen. Olivia looked up at the ceiling. What was that? Probably just some books falling, Amelia said quickly. The upstairs shelves are old. But Olivia was already standing up. Since when do you keep books upstairs? Your office is down here. Before Amelia could stop her, Olivia was heading for the stairs. Amelia followed, panic rising in her chest. Olivia, wait! You can't go up there. Why not? What are you hiding? Olivia asked, turning to face her. You've been acting weird for weeks. Everyone in town is talking about the government agents hanging around your farm. What's going on, Amelia? Another noise came from upstairs, and Olivia turned to continue up the stairs. Amelia grabbed her arm. Please, Liv, you have to trust me. There's something I can't explain. Then I'll see for myself, Olivia said, pulling away and rushing upstairs. Amelia followed her to the guest bedroom. When Olivia opened the door, she froze. Lyridian stood in the middle of the room, her purple skin glowing softly in the dim light. The alien princess looked at Olivia with her strange three-irised eyes. "Oh my God," Olivia whispered, backing up until she hit the wall. "What is that?" "I am Lyridian, third princess of the astral sovereignty," Lyridian said calmly. "You must be Olivia. Amelia has spoken of you." Olivia slid down the wall until she was sitting on the floor, her eyes never leaving Lyridian. "This is real," she said, more to herself than anyone else. "You're real." Amelia sat beside her friend. "This is what I couldn't tell you. Lyridian crashed here 3 weeks ago. She's hiding from people who want to force her into marriage." Over the next hour, they explained everything to Olivia. To Amelia's surprise, once Olivia got over the initial shock, she became fascinated by Lyridian and her technology. "You're an engineer," Olivia said, examining the small device Lyridian used to communicate with her ship. "I mean, you understand how this technology works?" "I have basic knowledge," Lyridian said. "All royal children are trained in ship systems and weapons." Olivia's eyes lit up. "Would you show me your ship? I might be able to help repair it." That night, the three of them went to the barn. Olivia was like a child on Christmas morning when she saw the spacecraft. "This is incredible," she said, running her hands over the smooth metal. "The design is so advanced, there's no visible propulsion system. It is contained within," Lyridian explained, pressing a hidden panel that caused part of the hull to slide open. "The drive core is damaged, but the navigation system is intact." As Olivia examined the ship's systems, a small device on Lyridian's wrist suddenly lit up and made a high-pitched sound. The alien princess looked at it with an expression of horror. "What is it?" Amelia asked. "A message from my home," Lyridian said, her voice shaking. "The Vrexian Dominion has attacked the astral sovereignty. My father refused their ultimatum after my escape." She touched the device and a holographic image appeared above it. It showed massive ships firing on a beautiful planet with 3 moons, my home. Lyridian whispered. "They are bombing the royal city." The hologram showed buildings falling and people running. Then it cut to an image of a tall, imposing alien in black armor. "Princess Lyridian," the alien said in a deep voice that somehow translated in their minds. "Your selfishness has cost your people dearly. Return and fulfill your duty or watch your world burn." The message ended and Lyridian's legs gave out. Amelia caught her before she hit the floor. "I have doomed them," Lyridian said, tears like liquid silver running down her purple cheeks. "My family, my people, they are dying because of me." "It's not your fault," Amelia said firmly. "The Vrexians are the ones attacking. They're the ones to blame." Olivia looked up from the ship's controls. "What will you do now?" Lyridian straightened up, wiping away her tears. "I must return. If I submit to the marriage, perhaps they will spare my world." "No," Amelia said. "There has to be another way. You said these Vrexians destroy worlds. What's to stop them from doing the same to your home, once they have what they want from you?" Lyridian had no answer. She looked lost and afraid, nothing like the confident Princess Amelia had come to know. That night, as Lyridian slept fitfully in the guest room, Amelia and Olivia talked in the kitchen. "We can't let her go back to those monsters," Amelia said. Olivia nodded. "I agree, but what can we do? We're talking about an interstellar war. We're just 2 humans on a farm in the middle of nowhere." Before Amelia could respond, they saw strange lights in the sky outside the window. Not helicopter searchlights or airplane signals. These lights moved in ways nothing from Earth could move. "They've found her," Amelia whispered. The lights descended toward the farm. War had come to Earth. The strange lights in the sky grew brighter as they descended toward the farm. Amelia and Olivia rushed upstairs to wake Lyridian. "They've found me," the alien princess said, looking out the window at the lights. "Those are Vrexian scout ships. They can disguise themselves as natural phenomena to primitive worlds." "Who are you calling primitive?" Olivia muttered. "We need to hide," Amelia said, pulling Lyridian away from the window. "What about your ship? Can we use it?" Lyridian shook her head. "It is not yet repaired. We would not make it out of your atmosphere." The lights stopped their descent and hovered about a mile away over the nearby forest. Then smaller lights detached from them and began moving in different directions. "Hunter drones," Lyridian explained. They will search for my energy signature. Can they detect you inside the house? Amelia asked. Not yet, but they will expand their scanning range until they find me. We have perhaps an hour. Olivia paced the room. What do these Vrexians want with you exactly? You said it was a marriage alliance, but there has to be more to it. Liridian touched the crystal pendant around her neck. My royal blood contains unique properties. The astral royal line can forge psychic connections with ancient weapon systems left by our ancestors. The Vrexians want to use me to activate those weapons for their empire. So you're basically a living key, Olivia said. Yes, that is why they will not stop hunting me. A plan began to form in Amelia's mind. What if we could send a false signal? Make them think you're somewhere else? Liridian's eyes widened. It might be possible. The pendant I wear contains a small amount of my DNA. If we could amplify its signal and place it somewhere away from us. I can help with that, Olivia said. I work with signal amplifiers at my job. We just need some basic electronics. They quickly gathered what they needed from around the house. Olivia used her engineering skills to build a makeshift amplifier, while Liridian removed a small crystal from her pendant. This contains the essence of my bloodline, she explained. It will emit the signal they are tracking. As they worked, Amelia's phone rang. It was a number she didn't recognize. Miss Frost, said a familiar voice when she answered. This is Agent Walsh. We have detected unusual activity near your property. I strongly advise you to leave your home immediately. What kind of activity? Amelia asked, trying to sound innocent. I can't discuss that over the phone. A team is on the way to evacuate you. Please be ready in 5 minutes, the call ended. Amelia told the others what Walsh had said. The government has detected the Vrexian ships, Liridian said, but they do not understand what they are facing. Vrexian weapons will cut through your military forces like they are nothing. They finished the amplifier and attached the crystal. Olivia looked at it doubtfully. I have no idea if this will work. We need to test it. No time, Amelia said, looking out the window. She could see headlights approaching the farm. We need to go now. They put the amplifier in a small box. The plan was to plant it far from the house to draw the hunter drones away. Amelia would take it while Olivia and Liridian headed for the old hunting cabin by the lake, about 3 miles away through the woods. Be careful, Liridian told Amelia, touching her arm. The drones will kill anything that gets in their way. I'll be fine, Amelia assured her. Just get to the cabin. I'll meet you there. They split up. Olivia and Liridian slipped out the back door and into the darkness of the fields beyond, while Amelia took the box and headed toward her truck. She had just reached it when bright lights swept over the yard. Government SUVs pulled up and agents jumped out, including Agent Walsh. Miss Frost, Walsh called. You need to come with us now. I was just leaving, Amelia said, clutching the box. What's going on? Walsh approached her, eyes serious. We've detected multiple unidentified aircraft in the area. This is now a matter of national security. Before Amelia could respond, a high-pitched whine filled the air. One of the hunter drones, a sleek metal object about the size of a basketball, hovered at the edge of the farm. The agents immediately drew their weapons. What is that? Walsh demanded. The drone suddenly emitted a red beam that swept across the yard. When it touched one of the agents, the man screamed and fell to the ground, his body smoking. Chaos erupted. The agents opened fire on the drone, but their bullets seemed to have no effect. More drones appeared, their beams cutting down the agents one by one. Walsh grabbed Amelia and pulled her behind a vehicle. What have you gotten involved in, Miss Frost? You wouldn't believe me if I told you, Amelia said. The agent's face hardened. Try me. I just watched 5 of my colleagues die from technology that shouldn't exist on Earth. A decision had to be made. Amelia opened the box and showed Walsh the amplifier with the crystal. This is what they're looking for. It belongs to an alien princess named Liridian. She crashed here 3 weeks ago, running from an arranged marriage with a race called the Vrexians. Those drones belong to them. To Amelia's surprise, Walsh didn't look shocked. We've suspected extraterrestrial contact since we detected the energy spike. Where is this princess now? Safe, and I need to keep her that way. Another drone appeared, hovering nearby. Walsh fired at it, but like before, the bullets had no effect. Give me that, Walsh said, taking the box from Amelia. Get to your truck and go. I'll lead them away. They'll kill you. Walsh gave a grim smile. Maybe, but this is my job. Protecting Earth from threats. Go find your princess friend. We're going to need her help before this is over. Before Amelia could argue further, Walsh ran out from behind the vehicle, shooting at the drones to get their attention. Then she sprinted toward the fields, the box held high. The drones followed, their deadly beams cutting through the night. Amelia used the distraction to get to her truck. As she drove away, she saw Walsh in her rearview mirror, still running with the drones in pursuit. Amelia drove to the old hunting cabin as fast as she dared without lights. When she arrived, Olivia and Liridian were waiting anxiously. "What happened?" Olivia asked. "We heard shooting." Amelia explained about the government agents and how Walsh had sacrificed herself to lead the drones away. "She won't survive," Liridian said quietly. "Vrexian drones are relentless." "Then her sacrifice can't be for nothing," Amelia said firmly. "We need a new plan." They spent the night in the cabin talking about their options. Liridian explained more about Earth's place in the galaxy. "Your world has resources the Vrexians value, rare minerals that can power their weapons, and your people have something even more valuable, genetic compatibility with astral technology that even my people lack." "What does that mean?" Olivia asked. "It means humans could potentially use our weapon systems even more effectively than we can. That makes Earth a target." In the morning, they cautiously left the cabin. The Vrexian ship seemed to have moved on, likely following the signal from Liridian's crystal. They were halfway back to the farm when they heard a vehicle approaching. They hid behind trees as a single SUV drove slowly past. In the passenger seat was Agent Walsh, looking battered but alive. "She survived," Amelia whispered in amazement. "We need to talk to her," Olivia said. "The government needs to know what they're up against." Liridian hesitated. "Can they be trusted? Many worlds imprison alien visitors. Walsh had a chance to capture me last night and didn't," Amelia pointed out. "I think she wants to help." They stepped out onto the road as the SUV returned. Walsh spotted them and ordered the driver to stop. She got out, moving stiffly like she was in pain. "Miss Frost," she said, "and you must be the princess." Her eyes took in Liridian's purple skin and strange eyes without flinching. "How did you escape the drones?" Amelia asked. "I didn't," Walsh said grimly. "They killed everyone else. I only survived because they suddenly left. Apparently they found what they were looking for, but it wasn't what they expected." She held up the box. The amplifier inside was destroyed, the crystal shattered. They weren't happy about that. Now they'll be looking harder than ever. "We need to get you all somewhere safe." "Where?" Olivia asked. "There's an abandoned military facility about 50 miles from here. It was used to study unusual phenomena in the past. It might have what we need to deal with this situation." Liridian studied Walsh carefully. "Why help us? I am not of your world." "Because those things killed my team," Walsh said, her voice hard. "And because I swore to protect this planet from threats. Right now you're our best chance of understanding what we're up against." They got into the SUV. As they drove away from the farm, Amelia looked back at the place that had been her home. She wondered if she would ever return. In the distance, more lights appeared in the sky. The Vrexian hunters had not given up. The chase was just beginning. The abandoned military facility looked like nothing special from the outside. Just a few concrete buildings surrounded by a chain-link fence in the middle of nowhere. Agent Walsh used a key card to open the gate and they drove inside. This place was officially closed in 1978, Walsh explained as she led them to the main building. Unofficially, it's been used by a small government team to study unusual objects. "What kind of unusual objects?" Olivia asked. Walsh gave her a look. "The kind not made on Earth." Underground, the facility was much larger than it appeared. They took an elevator down 6 levels. When the doors opened, Amelia was surprised to see modern labs and equipment. "Welcome to Project Stardust," Walsh said. "One of America's best-kept secrets." A tall woman with gray hair approached them. She wore a lab coat and looked startled to see Liridian. "Dr. Heather Morrison, this is Liridian, third princess of the Astral Sovereignty," Walsh said. "And these are civilians, Amelia Frost and Olivia Daniels." Dr. Morrison stared at Liridian with wide eyes. "Remarkable. You look so humanoid." "Many spacefaring species share similar forms," Liridian explained. "It is a common evolutionary path." "We need your help, Doctor," Walsh said. "Hostile aliens called Vrexians are hunting the princess. They've already killed most of my team." Dr. Morrison nodded grimly. "Follow me." She led them through the facility to a large chamber. Inside was something that made Liridian gasp. It was the remains of a spacecraft, similar in design to her own but much larger. We recovered this in 1952, Dr. Morrison explained. We've been studying it ever since, but much of the technology remains a mystery. Lyridian approached the ship with reverence. This is an Astral Royal cruiser. It would have carried a member of my family. She touched the damaged hull. Where was the pilot? Dr. Morrison and Walsh exchanged looks. There were remains, the doctor said carefully. They've been preserved. Lyridian closed her eyes briefly. I would like to see them later, to perform the proper rites. Of course, Dr. Morrison agreed. But first we need your help understanding something we found inside the ship. In another chamber, they showed Lyridian a collection of strange devices. Some were small like the crystal she wore. Others were larger, with complex patterns etched into metal surfaces. We've never been able to activate any of them, Dr. Morrison said. They seem to require some kind of biological key. Lyridian picked up one of the larger devices. This is part of the Stellar Forge, a weapon designed by my ancestors that can reconfigure the electromagnetic field of a planet, making invasion impossible. Hope flared in Amelia's chest. Can you make it work? Perhaps. It requires a neural link that only my bloodline can establish. But the forge is incomplete. There should be 7 components and you have only 3. Olivia studied the devices. Could we rebuild the missing parts? With the right materials, yes, Lyridian said. But it would take time. Walsh's phone buzzed. She checked it and her expression darkened. Time is something we don't have. The Vrexians have established a blockade around Earth. Our satellites are going dark, and communications are being jammed. They're preparing for full invasion, Lyridian said quietly. Dr. Morrison led them to a conference room where they could see satellite images of strange ships positioned around Earth. How do we fight them? Walsh asked. Lyridian touched one of the devices they had brought from the lab. I must teach you how to activate this technology. It is your only hope. Over the next few hours, Lyridian explained how the astral technology worked. It required a mental connection that only those with certain brain patterns could establish. My royal bloodline carries the genetic key, she said, but there may be humans with compatible patterns. We must test you. Dr. Morrison set up equipment to measure their brain activity while Lyridian demonstrated the connection process. She held one of the smaller devices and closed her eyes. The device began to glow with purple light. I am channeling my consciousness into the device, she explained. It recognizes the patterns of my thoughts. They tested Walsh first, but there was no response. Dr. Morrison tried next, with the same result. Olivia managed to produce a faint glow, which excited Lyridian. You have some compatibility. This is excellent news. When it was Amelia's turn, something unexpected happened. As soon as she touched the device, it lit up brighter than it had for Lyridian. Strange symbols appeared on its surface, and the room filled with a humming sound. Everyone stared at Amelia in shock. That's not possible, Lyridian whispered. No one outside the royal bloodline should be able to create such a strong connection. Amelia felt strange, as if the device was speaking to her mind. Images flashed before her eyes, stars, planets, ancient battles. What's happening to me? She asked, her voice shaking. Lyridian took the device from her hands and the vision stopped. The alien princess looked at Amelia with new eyes. There is something I must tell you, she said, something that might explain this. They sat around the conference table as Lyridian revealed a shocking truth. Thousands of years ago, members of the Astral Royal family visited Earth. They found it beautiful and its people fascinating. Some of them stayed and had children with humans. Those genetic markers have been diluted over countless generations, but they still exist in some of your people. She looked directly at Amelia. You carry the blood of my ancestors. That is why you can connect with our technology so strongly. Amelia felt dizzy. You're saying I'm part alien? A very small part, yes, but enough to matter. Walsh leaned forward. If Amelia can use your technology, can she help activate this stellar forge weapon? She can do more than help, Lyridian said. With training, she might be able to control it completely. Dr. Morrison looked thoughtful. If there are others like Amelia, we could assemble a team. There is no time to find them, Lyridian said. The Vrexians will attack soon. We must work with what we have. They spent the next day preparing. Lyridian taught Amelia how to focus her thoughts to control the astral devices. It was difficult and exhausting work. By evening, Amelia could make the smaller devices respond to her commands, but the forge components remained dormant. You are trying too hard, Lyridian explained. The connection should feel natural, like breathing. Amelia closed her eyes and tried again. This time, she didn't force the connection. She let her mind relax and reach out gently. To her surprise, she felt something respond, not just from the device but from somewhere deep inside herself. The forge component began to glow. Symbols appeared on its surface, scrolling too fast to read. A holographic display appeared above it, showing Earth surrounded by a web of energy. "You did it," Olivia exclaimed. Liridian looked impressed. "You learn quickly. But activating one component is not enough. We need all 7 parts of the forge, properly aligned." Dr. Morrison had been working with her team to identify materials that could be used to rebuild the missing components. "We have enough rare earth metals to construct 2 more parts," she reported. "But we're still short by 2. "My ship contains materials that could be used," Liridian said. "If we could retrieve it from Amelia's farm." Walsh shook her head. "Too dangerous. The farm is under surveillance by both our people and probably the Vrexians." An alarm suddenly blared throughout the facility. One of Morrison's assistants rushed in. "We have intruders. Multiple hostiles have breached the perimeter." Security camera feeds showed soldiers in strange armor moving through the facility. They weren't human. Their movements were too fluid, too precise. "Vrexian strike team," Lyridian said, fear in her voice. "They've found us." Walsh drew her gun. "How?" "We've been careful." "They must have detected the activation of the forge component," Lyridian said. "It emits a unique energy signature. We need to move," Walsh ordered. "Get the astral technology and head for the emergency exit." They gathered the devices quickly. As they hurried through the corridors, they could hear weapons fire and screams. The Vrexians were killing everyone they encountered. They reached a junction when 3 Vrexian soldiers appeared ahead of them. They were tall, with sleek armor that seemed to flow around their bodies. Their helmets had no visible eye holes, just smooth metal with glowing red lines. Walsh pushed the others back and fired her gun. The bullets hit one of the Vrexians, but seemed to do little damage. The aliens raised their weapons, strange rifles that hummed with energy. "Run!" Walsh shouted, continuing to fire as the others retreated. They turned down another corridor, hearing the sound of Walsh's gun being overwhelmed by the alien weapons. A scream echoed behind them, then silence. "She's gone," Olivia said, tears in her eyes. "We cannot waste her sacrifice," Liridian said firmly. "We must reach the exit." They found the emergency stairs and started climbing. The facility shook with explosions as the Vrexian attack intensified. On the 4th level, they ran into more Vrexians. There was nowhere to hide in the narrow corridor. As the aliens raised their weapons, Liridian stepped forward. "I am Liridian, 3rd Princess of the Astral Sovereignty," she called out. "I surrender myself to the Vrexian Dominion on the condition that these humans are spared." The Vrexians hesitated. Then one stepped forward, removing its helmet to reveal a face with pale skin and eyes that glowed red. "The Emperor will be pleased," it said in a cold voice, but he did not authorize any conditions. The journey back to the surface was a blur for Amelia. Her mind was filled with memories and knowledge that weren't her own. She could see the structure of the facility in her mind, sensing the position of every Vrexian soldier through the energy they emitted. Olivia stayed close to her, watching with concern as Amelia's eyes flickered between their normal brown and the triple-irised purple of Liridian's people. "Are you okay?" Olivia asked as they reached the ground level. "I'm adjusting," Amelia replied. Her voice sounded strange to her own ears, carrying harmonics that hadn't been there before. "Liridian's memories are merging with mine. It's overwhelming." They found Dr. Morrison in the control room with a few survivors from her team. The scientist gasped when she saw Amelia's changed eyes. "What happened to you?" "Liridian transferred her genetic memory to me before she died," Amelia explained. "I carry the knowledge of the Astral Royal line now." "Is that even possible?" one of the scientists asked. "The crystal pendant," Amelia said, touching her chest where the crystal had melted into her skin. "It was designed for this purpose, to preserve the royal line if the bearer was killed." Dr. Morrison looked fascinated despite the dire situation. "So you're saying you have the memories and knowledge of an alien civilization?" "Not just memories," Amelia said. "The genetic key to their technology. I can activate the stellar forge now." Outside, they could hear helicopters and vehicles arriving. Government reinforcements too late to save those who had already died. "We need to act quickly," Amelia said. "The Vrexians will send more forces when they realize their strike team has failed." Using Lyridian's memories, Amelia directed the scientists to gather specific materials and equipment. She knew exactly what they needed to complete the stellar forge. The missing components can be built from elements found on Earth, she explained. Gold, platinum, and rare earth metals shaped in precise configurations. As they worked, more military personnel arrived at the facility. A general named Carter took command, demanding explanations. Walsh had apparently informed her superiors about the alien threat before she died, and they were finally taking it seriously. "So you're telling me we're facing an alien invasion?" General Carter said skeptically. "And our best hope is a farm woman who's been, possessed by an alien princess?" "Not possessed," Amelia corrected. "Enhanced. Floridian gave me what I need to help Earth fight back. And why would she do that?" "Because our worlds share more than just this moment," Amelia said. "Humans and astrals are distant cousins. What threatens one threatens both." The general didn't look convinced, but the reports coming in from around the world gave her little choice but to listen. Phyrexian ships had been spotted over major cities. Communications were failing worldwide. The invasion had begun. "What do you need from us?" Carter finally asked. "Access to your most powerful radio telescope," Amelia replied, "and transport to get there." 4 hours later, they arrived at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. The massive dish built into a natural depression would be perfect for Amelia's plan. With Olivia and Dr. Morrison's help, Amelia installed the completed stellar forge components in the observatory's main control room. The 7 devices formed a circle, each glowing with purple light as Amelia activated them. "This will create a field around Earth that will disrupt the Phyrexians' quantum technology," she explained. "Their ships won't be able to maintain stability in our atmosphere. It won't destroy them, but it will force them to retreat." "Will it harm Earth's technology too?" Olivia asked. "No. The field is specifically tuned to the quantum frequency the Phyrexians use. Human technology is too primitive to be affected." Dr. Morrison raised an eyebrow at the word primitive, but said nothing. As they made final preparations, reports came in of Phyrexian ships landing in major cities. The aliens were deploying ground forces. Time was running out. "Are you sure you can do this?" Olivia asked Amelia. Amelia took a deep breath. "Lyridian believed I could. I have to try." She stood in the center of the 7 forge components and closed her eyes. Drawing on Lyridian's memories, she reached out with her mind, establishing connections with each component. The devices rose into the air, spinning slowly around her. Energy flowed between them, creating a web of light. Amelia felt the power building, waiting for her direction. In her mind, she could see Earth as if from space, surrounded by Phyrexian ships. She focused the energy of the forge, extending it outward in an expanding sphere. The effort was tremendous. Sweat poured down Amelia's face as she fought to maintain control. The memories of 1,000 royal astrals guided her, but the power was flowing through her human body, which was never designed for such stress. "It's working," Dr. Morrison called out, looking at a radar display. "The Phyrexian ships are losing altitude." Amelia couldn't respond. All her concentration was focused on expanding the field. She could feel the resistance as it touched each Phyrexian ship, disrupting their systems. Some of the smaller ships began to fall from the sky, their systems completely failing. The larger vessels fought against the effect, their engines glowing as they tried to compensate. In orbit, the Phyrexian command ship detected the source of the disruption. They redirected their weapons, targeting the observatory. General Carter received the warning from space monitoring stations. "They're targeting this location. Everyone evacuate now." Olivia refused to leave Amelia's side. "We can't stop now. The field isn't complete." Amelia heard them through a haze of pain and concentration. She knew they were right. If she stopped now, the Phyrexians would recover and return with even greater force. But if she continued, she might not survive the attack that was coming. Making her decision, Amelia pushed harder, drawing more power through the forge. The components spun faster, their light almost blinding. Above them, a Phyrexian energy weapon fired from orbit. The beam cut through the atmosphere, heading straight for the observatory. At the last possible moment, Amelia redirected part of the forge's energy upward. The Phyrexian beam hit the shield she created and scattered, harmless. With a final surge of effort, Amelia completed the protective field around Earth. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Every Phyrexian ship in the atmosphere suddenly lost power. The larger ships in orbit struggled to maintain their positions, systems failing across their fleets. The forge components fell to the floor as Amelia collapsed. Olivia caught her before she hit the ground. Did it work? Amelia whispered, her voice weak. Yes, Olivia said, tears in her eyes. They're retreating. You did it. In the days that followed, the world tried to make sense of what had happened. Governments acknowledged the alien threat for the first time, releasing limited information about the Vrexians and the technology that had saved Earth. Amelia recovered slowly. The strain of using the forge had nearly killed her. Even with Lyridian's knowledge, her human body had limits. 2 weeks after the attack, Amelia stood on a balcony at a secure government facility, looking at the stars. General Carter joined her. The president wants to meet you, Carter said. You're a hero. Amelia shook her head. The real hero was Lyridian. She sacrificed everything for a world that wasn't even hers. What will you do now? Carter asked. The Joint Chiefs want you to help us understand the astral technology. With your unique abilities, you're the only one who can. Amelia touched the spot on her chest where Lyridian's crystal had merged with her. She could still feel it, a warm presence beneath her skin. I'll help, she said, but that's not all I'm going to do. What do you mean? Amelia's eyes shifted to their purple, triple-irised form. Lyridian's ship is still at my farm. With the parts we've recovered from the facility, I can repair it. Carter looked alarmed. You're planning to leave Earth? Not permanently, Amelia assured her. But the astral sovereignty needs to know what happened here. They need to know about the Vrexian defeat, and about Lyridian's sacrifice, and they need to know about Earth. Will they help us if the Vrexians return? I believe they will, Amelia said, especially when they learn that humans carry their ancient bloodline. 3 months later, Amelia stood beside Lyridian's repaired ship. Olivia had helped complete the repairs, learning alien engineering in the process. Dr. Morrison had provided resources from the government, with reluctant approval from General Carter. Are you sure about this? Olivia asked, hugging her friend. Space is a big place. I'm sure, Amelia said. Lyridian gave me star maps and coordinates. I know where to find her people. Will you come back? Amelia smiled. Of course. This is my home. She touched the crystal beneath her skin. But I have 2 worlds to protect now. As Amelia prepared to board the ship, Dr. Morrison approached with a small container. We preserved her body, the scientist said quietly. Lyridian should return home. Amelia took the container, tears in her eyes. Thank you. Her family will be grateful. Inside the ship, Amelia settled into the control seat. It adjusted to her body automatically, recognizing the royal genetic signature she now carried. The controls lit up as she touched them, responding to her thoughts as much as her physical commands. On a small shelf next to the pilot's seat, Amelia placed a photo of her farm, the last normal home she had known. Next to it, she set a vial containing a small amount of earth soil. To remember where I came from, she whispered.